Hey, Facebook Live, Martin Lopez here. How you doing? Welcome to day 4 of my 31-day challenge. I'm in my backyard right now. This is where I meditate. There's a little area that I have right outside of my kitchen patio, and I have this awesome plant that I planted last year, and I usually actually turn around and face the plant, face that direction when I meditate, but this is a better direction because my garage is that way. Today I wanted to share something, a distinction that I teach in the Curiosity Theory for Sales and the regular Curiosity Theory course called Honestly Expressing. And I wasn't sure this morning what I wanted to share, but I had an amazing conversation with a good friend of mine, and so we talked about a whole bunch of stuff, and probably about, I was sharing with her some of the stuff, some of the struggles, and some of the stuff I've been going through this year. And about 70% into the conversation, I asked her. I said, "Does it sound like I'm complaining?" And she said, "No, it sounds like you're expressing yourself. It sounds like you're expressing your emotions." And in the Curiosity Theory, in the book, there's something I call yum or yuck. It's the yum or yuck. And it's yum when things are, when it's good, and yuck when things are not bad. And what I wanted to share tonight with you is, yes, in that conversation, I wasn't complaining about the situation. What I was doing is I was expressing the emotions that I had about the situation. So it was I was upset, I was discouraged, I was hurt, I was sad about this situation that I've gone through, and that's what I was sharing. So I could have been complaining about the situation because there was certainly quite a few people that are involved in this situation that I can complain about. I can make them wrong, I can judge them, I can blame them for what's happened. But where's that going to take me? Where's that going to lead me? Like, what do I get out of that? I just get to have something that I'm going to have to deal with in the future. Like, if I complain about somebody, like if I'm complaining about you, let's say if you're watching right now, and by the way, if you're watching, please give hearts and share this if it's valuable, and let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching on the replay, please write in replay on it, so I know that you're listening to it afterward. But let's say I'm complaining about you. So if I'm complaining about you, then I'm going to have to deal with you later because I'm complaining about you. So at some point I'm going to have to change. Something's going to change. So let's say I change the way I feel about what you're doing. So then what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to then have to clean it up. Or what happens if I don't clean it up is that I'm going to interact with you as though nothing happened. And I don't think that's a very powerful way to deal with people, right? Just all of a sudden one day I'm upset, next day I'm not upset. How does that make me look? So I believe that when we have situations with people, a lot of times people don't go back to those people. They don't go back to those people they want to work with or deal with or something, because they don't want to deal with having to clean up a mess that they made, or having to deal with their ego and having to say, hey, maybe I made a mistake, or whatever that situation is, whatever situation is or could be. So let's say I had an opinion about you, and it was a wrong opinion, and I chose to be upset, or I chose to be mad or something. At some point, you and I run into each other, let's say at a party or a business function. And then what I'm going to do is then I just walk up to you and say, hey, how you doing? Like everything was all good. But there's still stuff going on. There's still something in the space because I had a feeling about you, I had an opinion about you, I had a judgment about you, and I haven't cleaned that judgment up. I haven't taken the responsibility to say, hey, listen, I was judging you harshly. I was wrong about what I said. I'm mad enough to, however we clean things up. But most people don't clean things up, and they just fester. So that's why we have cancer. That's why we have a lot of the disease that we talk about. It's because, if you read any of Louise Hay's books, she talks about that, cancer, problems with the liver, all the problems in the body are all caused from emotions, unexpressed emotions. So if you buy into that theory, then what we'd say is that that the relationships fester. We have a disease, a dis-ease. Our relationships aren't easy the way we'd like them to be, so there's a dis-ease in them, and then we have to then clean up that dis-ease. And most people, like I said, don't do that. They just go find a new set of friends, or they or they create enemies. So they get together and, hey, let's talk about Martine. Hey, let's talk about so-and-so, because it's easier to do that than to say, hey, Martine hurt my feelings, or Martine did this or that, and then take responsibility for it and say, hey, that happened, and Martine did X, Y, Z, and that made me feel, yuck, let's say, for instance. So the whole idea, the message tonight is about honestly expressing. So when I was talking to my friend today, I was expressing myself. I was honestly expressing. I was saying, here, this is what happened. I'm not blaming those people for what happened. I'm saying this is how I feel as a result of that happening. So XYZ happened. I feel this way. I feel this way. I'm not saying that my feelings are right, but they're right for me. So when you're expressing your feelings, and as a basic feeling could be yum or yuck, but if you're going to then start expressing your feelings more, then you might say, I'm angry, or I'm disappointed, I'm discouraged, I'm sad, I'm baffled, I'm angry, frustrated. There's all kinds of different emotions that you can express. But expressing those emotions that are your emotions is incredibly powerful, because that gives you ownership. That's your taking ownership for having that feeling, those emotions. And then if you're with a good partner, or you're somebody that's a good listener, like I was with today, that person, and I'll tell you real quick what happens. She actually became a little defensive, and I'll tell you about that. But that person then can listen to your feelings as though they're your feelings, and they don't need to justify anything. So what happened was, I was in a conversation with this person, with her, and then she started telling me why, she started sharing to me why our situation that we had was different. And so my question to her was, are you trying to justify, are you trying to protect? Because I'm not judging you. I don't have a problem with you. And she just wanted to make sure that I was clear about it, So when she was listening to the situation, she was hearing I was upset about this thing that happened, and then a version of that happened with us. And so she was clarifying that, and then that's why that's why we continued the conversation. And I wanted to clarify, does it sound like I'm complaining? And then she had said, no, it sounds like you're expressing your emotions. So expressing our emotions, honestly expressing our emotions, is a very, very powerful distinction. So when you're speaking to somebody, honestly express what's going on with yourself in emotion. Like, I feel this way. I feel upset. I feel discouraged. I feel sad. This is what happened. I feel sad. So you're giving a fact of something that happened. I feel sad, versus, whenever you raise your voice, you really piss me off. Or whenever you say this, you just say that to make me mad. So what we're using is like these metaphors or these stories, as though the other person is trying to do something to us. And I'd say almost every time, people aren't really trying to do something to us. They're trying to navigate their own life and get through the best way that they can. So the situation that I was talking about, I know the people that are involved were really just doing their best. They're doing their best, trying to serve themselves and serve me the best they can, and things didn't turn out the way that I would have wanted them to have turned out. And and I'm sure with them it's probably the same. So but still, and still feelings were hurt, and my feelings were hurt. I felt sad, I felt disappointed, felt very discouraged about my career, my business, and who I am as a human being. So that's honestly expressing, this is what happened, and I feel incredibly discouraged about my life and about my contribution. So this is me expressing. And then as I expressed that to my friend today about the situation, what happened, what came about, was an incredible healing, an incredible shift in my own personal energy. So I'm able to see that situation. I go back and what happened earlier this year, and not have any more juice about it. And as a result, like two really amazing things happened to me with other people that I know that I've had a similar situation happen. So, which was really cool. So kind of like what happened is I cleaned up the energy about this one thing, and then kind of like this miraculous energy with 2 other people shifted. And then I got calls from people, and it was really an interesting situation. So that, it's kind of the power of energy. This is the power of honestly expressing. And I hope this makes a difference for you. I hope that what I'm saying makes a difference. This is day 4 of the 31-day challenge. I could talk about this stuff for hours and hours and hours and hours, and I can ramble about it, but I'm working on being more succinct and more clear to my points. Please like and share this. Tell your friends about it. My book is called The Curiosity Theory. Curiosity Theory. I'm now going to do some meditation, do some meditating. It's about 10:51 on, Monday night. So I'll probably meditate for about another 45 minutes outside. It's beautiful outside. And if you're meditating, keep it going. If you're not meditating and you want help, let me know. I've created a couple meditation audios to help meditate, and I got this. I call it Meditation 101, which is a very advanced meditation that I'm doing right now that I learned from a good friend of mine, and I'm kind of like doing my fake version of that, but I did it for myself because I wanted to walk myself through the meditation, and I've shared it with a few people, and they're like, "This thing's awesome." So it's a really great way to meditate. Also on this down description, I put a link to get a copy of the audiobook. So I've had a buddy of mine record the audiobook for the Curiosity Theory, and if you want a copy of the audiobook, just hit the link. I think I just need your name and your email address, and then it sends you to a page, and you can download the audiobook and enjoy it. Let me know what you think about it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.